So I'm gonna share with you a secret, and I'm gonna share with you how I created a $500,000 per year tax and accounting practice. But really the sub-theme of this is why you need to be increasing your prices. So stay tuned and I'll share with you all of my secrets. Hey, what's going on? It's Eric, the Modern Mystic. And as always, I'm always here to share with you about entrepreneurship, healing, growth, personal development, all of those things. I have nothing to sell you, but I really want to be able to share the knowledge and experience I've had over the last 25 years of being an entrepreneur. So right now I operate a really cool tax and accounting practice, right? I have a great number of clients. I have right now at this point 6 employees, and we're pushing about $500,000 per year, which is fantastic. And I know it's kind of taboo to talk about finances, but I think it's important to kind of like open the kimono and be transparent about things. And really the sub-theme of this conversation today is if you're an entrepreneur out there, why you should be raising your prices and why you should be considering not being a commodity-based business. So let me share with you a story. Over 10 years ago, I operated 4 Liberty Tax Service offices. I owned 4 franchises, and I was doing tax preparation, much like what I'm doing today. And at the time, I had over 2,500 clients. I had 4 offices, over 40 employees. And at the time, I was pushing almost $1 million of revenue per year. And a lot of folks are like, man, Eric, that's a lot of money, $1 million per year, right? But that's not what my take home was. My take home was dramatically less than this. I had 40 employees, I had 4 locations, I had insurance, costs, software, all of these things, franchise fees, and royalty costs I was paying back to the home office, where my take home was probably about $200,000 per year, which sounds great, but then you take away your taxes and all that stuff. But the thing is, I was working myself like a dog. I had 2,500 clients. During the tax season, I was doing probably about 80 hours per week. And for any of you accountants or tax folks out there, you could probably relate. And after tax season, when we're supposed to be taking our break, I was working about 40 hours per week. It was a slog, a grind every time. But for me, it was a way of getting myself out of poverty and into a really awesome source of income. And there's nothing wrong with it, right? But when I was running my business, one of the biggest challenges I had was tax preparation in general is a commodity. Commodity basically meaning that you could get the same service elsewhere to file a tax return, prepare a tax return, all that stuff. So there's a lot of competition in central Massachusetts where my offices were, and there's quite a few down the street that are doing tax preparation. So I would have prospective clients come in all the time, but XYZ does tax returns down the street for half the price that you do it for. XYZ does tax returns for $100 less, $200 less. Now, in my head, I knew number one, this tax officer referring to sells wedding dresses. So how exactly good are they and competent with taxes are they if they're selling wedding dresses also? Other things were like, I knew the level of skill that I had, the certifications I had with the IRS, and I knew the problems that other folks had with those tax offices that ended up coming to me. But at the time, I was treating my business as a commodity. I was basically fighting based on price. Now, a commodity-based business, think of it like McDonald's, right? You can either go to McDonald's and get a dollar value menu burger for 99 cents, or you can go to a place like Five Guys Fries or Five Guys Burgers and get a burger for $10. What's the difference? When you look at the McDonald's burgers, right, it looks pretty scrawny and pretty scraggly, as opposed to the Five Guys burgers looks pretty substantial. They charge a premium price because they have a premium service. Whereas McDonald's, it's a commodity. It's a fast food shop that's a commodity, and they make their profit in pure volume. Now, for you and I as entrepreneurs, we don't want to act as commodities because that means we have to do a tremendous amount of work at a low cost that gets the same profit margin as a business that's a valued service that can produce less hamburgers but at a higher profit margin. Now, if you were an entrepreneur like me, and many of us are entrepreneurs, what would you rather do? Would you rather work more for the same money, or would you rather work less for the same money? So let's fast forward to today, right? Today, I run a virtual tax and accounting practice. I don't have a physical office anymore, thanks to COVID, gave up the office. I have 5 employees that work for me, a couple full-timers, a couple part-timers, and we're bringing in substantially less revenue per year than I was in the Liberty Tax system. I'm bringing about $600,000 per year in revenue, full transparency, and my net profits are greater than what I had in my Liberty Tax office, but at the same time too with less work, right? Instead of having 2,500 clients that I was servicing every year with the Liberty Tax business and 40 employees, now I have about 20 accounting clients that I service on a monthly basis and about 100 tax clients, right? So I brought my revenue per client from $350 to about $5,000 per client, right? So the first thing, if you're an entrepreneur, that I recommend you consider doing is dramatically increase your prices. Now, a lot of folks say, how do I do that? How do I charge more? Easy, charge more. Charge 30 to 50% more than you're charging right now. Many folks come to you because you provide a unique value, a unique skill, a unique service. And many of us are actually underselling ourselves and charging less than what the actual market can bear. And I can almost guarantee you, I always do what we call the sphincter test. If I pitch a price at a client and my butt cheeks tighten up, it's probably a good price. And more often than not, the client's like, okay, sounds good. Let's sign the dotted line. And I'm like, shoot, I should have asked for more money, right? So number one, ask for more money. That's how I got to that level of success. Number two, when I have risen my prices and the practice I run now, I invest heavily in myself. I invest heavily in my skills. So the number two thing you want to do is invest heavily in yourself. What I mean is I spend, I would say, tens of thousands of dollars per year on business masterminds, on coaches, on classes, on continuing education with the IRS, on certifications, and learning other things. And my clients know that I'm actively going out to learn new things because the tax code always keeps changing. Tax laws always keep changing. Accounting practices always keeps evolving. So as a tax advisor, my clients pay me to effectively learn, to share with them the cutting edge stuff when it comes to tax strategy, when it comes to the accounting of their business. So I that's the wrong word to use. I invest a tremendous amount of resources in myself and in my team on an annual basis to continually upgrade our skills. And that provides a value proposition to my clients, knowing that me and my team are always ahead of the game when it comes to tax strategy. So when you're running a successful business and you want to go to that next level, right? If you want to build that six-figure accounting practice or six-figure whatever business or seven-figure business, not only should you be increasing your prices, but you should also be continually upgrading your skills. As you increase your skills, it's also going to allow you to command more money. Where new clients coming in, you could actually charge them more because you've spent all of these years investing in yourself. It reminds me of like a really popular story or joke where there's this cruise ship that's sitting out in the ocean that's worth over $100 million and the captain can't get the boat to start. So the captain calls in the mechanic. The mechanic looks around and he says, interesting. And he pulls out a hammer and taps the hammer in one spot and suddenly the cruise ship is able to start again. And the captain's like, man, this is amazing, send me your bill. And the mechanic's like, yeah, the bill's $20,000. The mechanic's like, that's outrageous. You only spent 2 minutes tapping this with a hammer and maybe an hour looking around. And the mechanic was like, no, you didn't pay for that time. You paid for the last 20 years of my education to be able to know that all I have to do is tap that, right? So same thing, as an entrepreneur, as a business owner, this continual amount of skills that you continually pour into yourself is what's going to be allowing you to raise your rates, allow you to become more profitable, allow you to run a business of your dreams. And the third thing that was crucial in helping me build a six-figure, now mid-six-figure accounting practice is I got really clear on who I want to serve. Now I want to be honest with you guys. I've been a people pleaser for years and I was always like, I help everybody, right? And that's, as an entrepreneur, we like being problem solvers. And sometimes we try to help everybody. But the reality is not every client is for you. I became really clear on who I wanted to serve. The clients that come to work with me in my tax practice typically are business owners that are profiting over $250,000 per year. They have a couple of employees or a lot of employees, and they're focused in service-based businesses, like they're lawyers or they're consultants or they're digital marketers, right? And the reason I did that is because as an accountant, as a taxpayer, I can effectively help everybody, right? But there's a couple things that I didn't want to do. I didn't want to work with complex clients that had to deal with inventory, that had to deal with sales tax, that had to deal with all of these other compliance related things that although I had the skill set for, I just didn't want to do it. So what I did is I got really clear on who I wanted to work with and the ideal client. And once I became clear with that, right, I visualized that in my head, it manifested. All of my languaging is all revolving around I help service-based businesses, right? All of my marketing lingo and the things I talk about is I help successful entrepreneurs. And those are people that are going to naturally come to you. Now, if you come out there and you say, hey, I'm going to help everybody with X, you're going to be dealing with everyone, which is not a big deal. But the vast majority of folks out there are not your ideal client. And the folks that are out there that are price sensitive, the folks out there that are not a good fit for your business, that are not a good fit for your personality, oftentimes are gonna be the biggest pain in the butt. And it's gonna cost you more time and effort than it is bringing in revenue. So those are my three things, my three secrets on how I built a mid six figure accounting practice that's very profitable, very successful. I really enjoy doing what I do. And it all came down to really reframing the way that I looked at doing business. So if you're new here, again, my name is Eric, the Modern Mystic. As always, I talk about things when it comes to finance, entrepreneurship, even healing through plant medicine, all these things that help us become a better version of ourselves. If you got any questions, I would love to hear from you. Pop them in the comment section below. I answer every single question that pops in there. And also, if you're new, click the subscribe button. I would love to. I'm thumbing up for some reason, but I gotta do the subscribe button thing. Click the subscribe button. I would love to see you here on a weekly basis. I make awesome videos, and it would be remiss if you missed out on learning how to grow and scale your business, grow and scale your income, but also living a life of your dreams. With that said, look forward to chatting to you again soon. Peace out.